When I bought the lake property, I knew it would eventually cause problems. What I didn't expect was that the problem would introduce herself on a Tuesday afternoon with a clipboard, a forced smile, and the confidence of someone who had never been told, "I know." I'd owned the land for 5 years. 50 acres surrounding a quiet private lake, including several residential lots I leased long-term. I didn't live there full-time. I preferred peace, paperwork, and staying out of neighborhood drama. That plan lasted until Karen knocked on my door. She didn't knock, actually. She pounded. I opened the door to find a woman in her late 40s wearing oversized sunglasses and a polo shirt embroidered with Lakeview Shore's HOA president. "You need to join the HOA," she said immediately, skipping introductions. I smiled politely. "I'm not part of the HOA." She laughed like I'd told a joke. Yield. "Everyone on the lake is part of the HOA?" "I'm not," repeated. "And my property predates it." Her smile vanished. "That's not how it works," she snapped, flipping her clipboard around. "You use the lake. You follow the rules. You pay the dues." I glanced at the paper. It listed monthly fees, lake usage restrictions, dock regulations, and, my favorite, mandatory approval for property modifications. "No thanks," I said. "I'm good." Her face flushed red. "You can't just refuse," she said louder. "I'm the HOA president, and I'm not a member." She leaned closer. "If you don't join, you'll be trespassing. The lake belongs to the HOA." That made me laugh. I couldn't help it. "The lake doesn't belong to the HOA," I said calmly. "It's on my land." She stared at me like I'd insulted her ancestors. "You don't know what you're talking about," she said. "I'll give you one chance to sign." I closed the door. 10 minutes later, I heard sirens. 2 police cars pulled up near the dock. Karen stood beside them, arms crossed, pointing at my house like she'd just caught a criminal red-handed. An officer knocked. "Yes, sir," he said professionally. "We got a call about trespassing and refusal to comply with HOA regulations." I stepped outside. Karen smirked. "He's refusing to join the HOA and illegally using the lake," she said. "I want him removed." The officer turned to me. "Sir, do you live here?" "I own the property," I said. Karen laughed loudly. No, he doesn't." I took out my phone. "Do you want the deed, or should I pull up the lease agreements first?" Her smirk faltered. The officer raised an eyebrow. "Lease agreements?" "Yes," I said. "Including hers." Silence. "Including hers." Silence. Karen's mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. "That's not funny," she said weakly. "It's not a joke," I replied. The officer turned to her. "Ma'am, do you rent your home?" She straightened. "I have a long-term lease." I nodded. 3 years ago. Renewed last spring." The officer looked between us. "So he's your landlord?" Karen went completely still. The realization hit her in slow motion. No," Karen said. "That's impossible." I pulled up the documents and handed my phone to the officer. He scrolled, nodding. This appears legitimate," he said. Sir, everything checks out." Karen's voice went shrill. "He never told me." "You never asked," I said calmly. She turned on the officer. But the doesn't supersede property ownership," the officer interrupted. "And you called us for a civil issue." Karen's face went pale. "You called the police on your landlord," the second officer said bluntly. "That's not a great idea." She tried to recover. "He's violating HOA rules." I smiled. HOA doesn't apply to my land. It never has." The officer handed my phone back. "Sir, you're free to go," Karen exploded. "This is harassment." "Abuse of power. He should be fined." The officer sighed. "Ma'am, if you continue, you could be cited." That shut her up. They left. Karen stood there, shaking, eyes locked on me. "You tricked me," she hissed. No," I said. "You just assumed." She stormed off. I thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. 2 weeks later, she sent me a formal HOA violation notice for my own property. That earned her a certified letter in response. Inside was a lease compliance warning. Violation listed: harassment of landlord, false police report, attempted enforcement of invalid authority. I gave her 30 days to correct behavior or face non-renewal. The HOA board called me the next day. They were suddenly very polite. Turns out Karen never told them who actually owned the land. When they found out, she was removed as president within 48 hours. She avoided me after that. No more clipboard, no more sunglasses, just quiet. The lake stayed peaceful. And every time I saw her dock, I smiled, because nothing humbles an HOA Karen faster than realizing the person she tried to bully owns everything beneath her feet.